It's a compliment. It's a compliment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, the ghost of Christmas Fag. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My name is Dandy Darkly, ladies and gentlemen. I am New York City's renowned raconteur of supernatural sleaze and homosexual horror. Stories of sex and death, ladies and gentlemen. But not tonight, no. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the holidays, I am foregoing my typical lewdness in honor of all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I know your senses are just too timid for the kind of tales that I tell. So instead, I've prepared a Christmas jingle to get your feet a-tapping, and a one, and a two, and a... Jingle bells, cock. Oh, black cock. Oh, black Santa cock. Stop. Thank you, Mike. A big round of applause. I'm absolutely incapable of wholesomeness, ladies and gentlemen. It's those jingle bells. Those alluring, enticing jingle bells. The year was 1987, Christmas Eve, way on down in the small southern town of Gaybird, Georgia. Country covers of classic Christmas carols crooned from the Waffle House jukebox. Christian boys and girls knelt before their fireplaces and furnaces to pray the coal away come the dawn of the baby Jesus' birthday. And portly Patton set himself off to bed. His mommy placed presents beneath their Christmas tree. Her Black Friday black eye was nearly gone, but the Yuletide tale of how that little cigarette-smoking rageaholic woman fought for and won the very last Cabbage Patch Kid in all of Gaybird, Georgia, had just begun. And portly Patton, sleepy, yet hardly slept, as visions of a dark-skinned Santa Claus danced an alluring Cosby shuffle in the little boy's pudgy head. You see, Gaybird, Georgia, while being awash in Christmas cheer, was also politely aghast at the staffing of an African-American Santa Claus at the local fancy shopping center. Cotton Acres Mall featured a host of fancy stores. There was a Radio Shack, there was a Banana Republic, there was a playful Toys R Us for Timmy and Sally, and Spencer's Gifts for playful Mommy and Daddy. Ooh, there was even an Obon Pan, ooh la la! Fancy store indeed. Well, the high society folks of Gaybird, Georgia shopped down at Cotton Acres Mall. And aside from the solitary porcelain African wise man offering frankincense in the food court nativity scene, the fancy folk of Gaybird, Georgia preferred a white Christmas with no black mall Santa. Well, Portly Patton couldn't have been more delighted. The first chance he got, he marched on down to Cotton Acres Mall for a little lap time with this new old Saint Nick. Liberation! Santa's North Pole village held a newfound sense of hipness and danger. The Gumdrop Pavilion featured a curious, courageous display of brighter, bolder colors than he'd remembered. The Candy Cane Forest was a dizzying display of red and white striped delight. Even tiny Tina, Gaybird's local little person, seemed reborn in her role as the sole elf toiling away in Santa's sweatshop. One by one, the slack-jawed children of Gaybird shuffled up to Santa Claus and whispered their Christmas wish into his ear, and one by one they shuffled away. And with the passing of each child, that brown sugar Santa seemed to serenade Portly Patton personally with a bluesy baritone. Ho, ho, ho. Got closer to Santa. He was a magnificent mahogany mountain of a man. 4 times Portly Patton's height, and with a belly big round as a Christmas wreath. bigger than even Portly Patton's. He stared at those beefy thighs and imagined bouncing gleefully as he rattled off his list of Thundercats and My Little Ponies and hunting knives. Portly Patton was a strange child, ladies and gentlemen. He was next. Black Santa patted his lap. Portly Patton stepped forward and was rudely cut in line by a team of mall security guards. And they had a Caucasian Christopher Kringle with them. You see, while the good folks of Gaybird, Georgia, begrudgingly accepted an African-American Santa Claus, an alcoholic American Santa Claus was out of the question. He was drunk at work, ladies and gentlemen. The security guards led drunk Black Mall Santa away, and White Mall Santa patted his lap for Portly Patton, who merely screamed, "How dare you!" and fled the food court. Well, he stopped at Obon Pan and had a chocolate croissant, and then he fled the food court with all of its ugly, commercialized holiday cheer. Christmas was ruined! The Friday before Christmas break, Miss Killy, the school guidance counselor, took aside some of the more troubled boys for a frank discussion about something that had happened the night before. Bryce, an emo band geek, had been tickled in his bed by a towering black man wearing a Santa suit. The very same Black Mall Santa fired from Cotton Acres Mall. Portly Patton felt as though he'd been drenched in ice-cold water, his entire body clenched. Christmas was saved, ladies and gentlemen. Gaybird, Georgia had been a town where you could leave your door unlocked at night. But now the rumors of the tickler drunk Black Mall Santa was on everyone's lips, except Portly Patton. More and more children were tickled in their beds. There was Rod, an improv fag. There was Devin, a computer nerd. There was even Chris, the weird kid who eats glue, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone was afraid, very afraid, but none more so than Portly Patton. He was afraid. He was afraid he wasn't pretty enough or deserving of a nighttime tickling by a home invader. Ladies and gentlemen, he asked the sorts of questions one asks oneself when faced with a crisis of confidence. Was it his fault he didn't want to be tickled? Why not him? Well, the real Santa Claus must have heard his Christmas wish. It was Christmas Eve. Portly Patton closed his puffy, tear-soaked eyes and drifted away with utter disregard for the Palace of Eternia playset that waited him under the Christmas tree. Sometime in the middle of the night, he was awakened by the sound of jingle bells and that familiar bluesy ho, ho, ho. It was the tickler drunk Black Mall Santa. He was in his bedroom. He felt his hot breath on his cheek. He could smell Mad Dog 2020 across his breath. He clenched his eyes shut and waited for those beefy gloved hands to pull down his Star Wars sheet set and give him a tickling he'd so yearned for when, "Get the fuck away from my son, you pervert!" No, it was Portly Patton's mama, and she was having herself a classic rage fit. She launched into the towering home invader, kicking and scratching and spitting. The whole time Portly Patton rocked himself in bed, saying, "No, mama, no, I need this, I want this," but she ignored him. She slapped and bit and kicked, and before Black Santa realized what happened, he was lashed to the radiator, all Black Snake Moan style, using a pair of pink fuzzy handcuffs she'd bought down at Spencer's Gifts at Cotton Acres Mall. Oh, the cruel irony, ladies and gentlemen. The Gaybird Sheriff's Department took the tickler drunk Black Mall Santa into custody. He was dragged behind a pickup truck, shot 37 times, and fed to wild hogs. It was the South, ladies and gentlemen. Portly Patton and his mama became local celebrities. The Gaybird Gazette wrote a story about them. Channel 5 News came all the way up from Atlanta to interview them. Cotton Acres Mall even gave her the key to the shopping center. It was all so very wonderful, but very, very bittersweet. To this day, I lay in bed. Portly Patton lays in bed. Portly Patton lays in bed. And he listens for the sound of jingle bells. He lays there with bated breath and waits for a tickling. Tickling that will never be. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Happy holidays!